This new Clippers stadium is going to change the entire NBA. The Intuit Dome is a Clippers brand new $2 billion stadium, and it might be one of the most innovative stadiums we have seen. Just looking at some of the features this thing has, features like 5 different basketball courts, one of those being outside and open to the public anytime, regardless if you have a ticket or not. I saw a video of some people just playing a pickup game and shooting around after one of their preseason games, which was really cool. This stadium also has over 1,400 toilets, so you're never too far away from the bathroom. Zero line concession stand, so you can get back to the game quickly. A Halo board, which is the first ever double-sided one, so you never have a bad spot, and there's always good viewing angles despite where your seats are. But out of all of those many different features, there's one specifically that I believe is changing the game and will likely change the landscape of the entire NBA very soon. And it is called the Wall. Now check this thing out because it is absolutely insane. It is 51 rows of 5,000 fans. And it's not just normal fans in this section. There is a vetting process that you have to go through in order to sit in this section. Not only that, but fans that are in this section are expected to stand and chant the entire time. Wearing opposing team gear is not allowed. You have to be wearing Clippers gear in order to be sitting in this section. And the reason why it's called the Wall is because the seats are practically vertical behind the basket, giving the effect of a wall of fans. Now, this might seem extremely intense and over the top. I mean, everything about the stadium feels that way. But what if I told you that it was actually working and giving the Clippers a legitimate competitive advantage in their games? So right now, as I'm recording, the Clippers have only played 4 home games in the Intuit Dome. So let's take a look at their very first game at the Intuit Dome, game 1 versus the Phoenix Suns. And during the fourth quarter, while Kevin Durant was at the line, the Phoenix Suns were shooting 4 for 8 from the free throw line when going against the Wall. Then he would go on to miss another one, shooting 4 for 9 against the Wall. Now, mind you, Kevin Durant is a career 88% free throw shooter. Him missing 2 free throws in a row is not something that just happens every day. It is a very, very, very rare occurrence. And even though Devin Booker only attempted 2 free throws against the Wall, he would go on to miss one of them, and this is what he had to say about it.
I missed the free throw, man. I was pissed. So I think K missed 2 down there too, so it worked.
So it was pretty impressive.
Hell yeah, you spend $2 billion.
Nerd made.
Now let's take a look at their next home game versus Portland. In half 1, facing the opposite side of the Wall, the Trailblazers would shoot 100% from the free throw line. In the second half, while facing the Wall, they would shoot 50%. Now I will say they did only attempt 4 free throws in the second half as opposed to the first half where they attempted 8. And based off of these first 2 games, it definitely does seem like the Wall is working. Teams are shooting significantly worse when facing the Wall as opposed to facing the other end. But in their more recent games versus the Phoenix Suns and the Oklahoma City Thunder, we're gonna get some numbers that are just a little bit different. So in the first half, facing away from the Wall, the Phoenix Suns shot 78% from the free throw line, going 14 for 18. In half number 2, they shot 90%, shooting 9 for 10. So even though they did attempt more free throws in the first half, they still shot significantly better going against the Wall. And this same thing would happen with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Away from the Wall, they shot 85%, but in the second half, facing the Wall, they shot 100%. And granted, it's the same situation. They only attempted 6 in the second half, as opposed to the first half where they attempted 13. So it's really hard to give a gauge or give an exact if it is making that much of a difference, and teams are significantly shooting worse. But based off of these first 3 games, it is still really up in the air whether it is actually making a difference on teams' free throw percentage. So as the season goes on and teams play more games at the Intuit Dome against the Wall, we'll probably be able to get more solidified numbers on whether it is making an impact or not. But regardless of whatever those numbers end up being, there is one thing that the Wall and the Intuit Dome is doing that can't be taken away and should be replicated in every NBA stadium across the globe. And it is creating a legitimate fan atmosphere. This is something I feel like professional sports really struggle to do. Just going to a game and watching games, it seems like there's not really much of an atmosphere. It just seems like a bunch of different people are gathered in a place. But what the Wall is doing so differently is it makes it feel like a college game day experience. What colleges do so much better than professional sports is the atmosphere at the games. They're absolutely electric. People are going crazy. They're passionate about the game, the sports event that is happening. And in professional sports, it just seems like it lacks a lot of passion, and the people could care less whatever happened. The biggest example I have is back in 2013, the Heat were going up against the Spurs in the NBA Finals. It was Game 6. There was 28 seconds left. It was 93-89. The Heat were down, and fans started leaving in masses. Now, mind you, this is a 4-point game and by no means over. I mean, crazy things have happened, and that's exactly what happened this game. It ended up being one of the craziest games in NBA history with the Ray Allen 3. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Catches, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound, Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer.
But the amount of fans that missed this moment because they left early is absolutely insane. Like in the video, you can see all the fans leaving and then hurrying up and trying to run back in the game after they saw what happened. I mean, it was so bad, it was a whole news story. Players were talking about it. Now, it'd be one thing if this was just a regular season game, but this was the NBA Finals we're talking about. And while this is an extreme example, I believe it's a symptom of the way NBA games and professional sporting events have been for a while now. It just feels disingenuous. Like the fans or intenders of the games could care less. They're more there just to look cool and show off, hey, I got tickets to the game, and they could care less as to what happens. There's no culture, there's no tradition, there's no atmosphere. But what the Clippers are doing with the Wall and Intuit Dome is they're bringing that atmosphere to NBA games. It feels more genuine. It feels like the people there care about the games. I mean, just watching the games on TV, not even in attendance, just watching the games, I can hear how rowdy it is in that stadium. It seems absolutely electric. It seems like a great time to be at that game. And that is something that I absolutely love to see. It seems like when the Clippers are actually playing at home, they have an advantage. We talk about home court advantage all the time in the NBA, but I feel like it doesn't really mean that much the way things have been. Now, I do know that there is a home court advantage when it comes to location and travel and things like that, but I'm talking about the court itself and the arena you're playing in specifically the atmosphere. And as crazy as it does sound, crowd atmosphere definitely does make an impact on the way that the players are playing. Like anybody that's ever played sports knows what it's like to have the crowd going crazy. It just amps up your play to a whole nother level. But with the Clippers now, it feels like there's actually a home court advantage, similar to how it is in college, and I absolutely love it. I feel like other teams should follow suit and go more into this full-on atmosphere and making it more enjoyable for the fan experience. But yeah, hopefully that all made sense. Hopefully it wasn't just a whole lot of yap. I really do like what the Clippers are doing.